True courage is found in the darkest moments. Today's story is about a brave boy who refused to give up and escaped the clutches of a brutal death. It serves as a powerful reminder of why we must be cautious about who we trust. Avyaan, an innocent 10-year-old boy from a middle-class family, lived a typical life. His days were filled with school, laughter, and playing with his friends. Avyaan's world was simple and full of joy, but little did he know a storm was brewing that would change everything. Ashok, the son of their household helper Seema, had always been a familiar face to Avyaan. Trusted by the family, Ashok had spent years watching the boy grow up. But underneath that trust lay a festering greed. He resented the happiness of Avyaan's family. He wanted their money. He hatched a plan. Ashok had big dreams. He wanted to impress his girlfriend with an iPhone and a flashy car. But being from a modest background, these luxuries seemed out of reach. One day, Ashok's desperation pushed him to do the unthinkable. He devised a sinister plan with his friend Raju to kidnap young Avyaan, exploiting the trust the boy had in him. And the wheels of fate began to turn. After school, Amit approached Avyaan with a friendly smile. "Let's go on a little adventure," he said, luring the boy into his grasp. Unsuspecting, Avyaan followed Amit to a secluded location, far from the safety of his home. Suddenly, a hand clamped over Avyaan's mouth, stifling his scream. He struggled, kicking and thrashing, but it was no use. Avyaan was trapped. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through him. Avyaan's nightmare had just begun. Back home, as darkness fell, panic set in. The house felt emptier than ever, shadows creeping in every corner, amplifying their fears. The phone rang, shattering the tense silence that had enveloped the room. It was a stranger's voice, cold and demanding, sending chills down their spines. "We have your son," the voice hissed. 1,000,000 rupees. No police or else. Avyaan's parents were devastated, their world crumbling around them. The kidnappers provided instructions, their voices devoid of any empathy. The terrified parents, thinking only of their son's safety, agreed to pay the money without delay. The next day, with their hearts heavy and fear gripping their every thought, Avyaan's parents followed the kidnappers' instructions. They delivered the ransom under a bridge, hidden inside a trash can at a secluded location, hoping desperately to have their son back within the hour. Time seemed to stretch endlessly as they waited, each passing moment filled with dread. By evening, with no sign of their son and no word from the kidnappers, they realized they had no choice left. With trembling hands and a sinking heart, they made the difficult decision to inform the police. Inspector Raghav, a seasoned officer, took on the case. He listened intently as Avyaan's parents recounted the events. He studied the kidnappers' demands, a grim expression settling on his face. Police combed through every detail, starting with CCTV footage near the school. It wasn't long before they spotted Ashok and Raju together, leading Avyaan away. The police now had a crucial lead. They followed the trail, piecing together the locations Ashok and Raju had visited in the days leading up to the kidnapping. Meanwhile, Avyaan was held captive in a dilapidated warehouse, the air thick with dust and the smell of decay. On the day Ashok and Raju went to collect money, Avyaan saw his chance. A small window, high up on the wall, offered a glimmer of hope. He pushed a rusty barrel under the window, climbed on top, and squeezed through the narrow opening. He was free. He ran, his heart pounding with fear and adrenaline, each step echoing. He had to find help, but the streets were deserted, and every shadow seemed to hide a new danger. Lost and exhausted, Avyaan stumbled upon a small tea stall, his legs barely carrying him any further. The aroma of freshly brewed tea was a small comfort in his weary state. A kind old woman, her face etched with wisdom and compassion, looked at him with concern. Her eyes seemed to understand his plight without a word being spoken. Avyaan, his voice trembling, told her his story. Each word he spoke was filled with fear and uncertainty, painting a picture of his struggles. The old woman listened patiently, her heart breaking for the young boy. She called the police, her hands steady as she dialed, determined to ensure his safety. Relief washed over Avyaan's face as he saw the police arrive. The weight of worry lifted, replaced by a sense of gratitude. Avyaan led the police back to the warehouse. Meanwhile, another team of police had Seema and Ashok under intense questioning. Crumbling under pressure, Ashok finally broke down and confessed the truth. "He ran away," Ashok stammered, his voice shaking. "We had planned to kill him, but he escaped before we could do it. We took the money and searched everywhere, but we couldn't find him." The chilling confession sent shockwaves through the room. A few hours later, Avyaan was safely reunited with his parents. The tears, relief, and overwhelming emotions filled the room as they embraced their son, finally free from the nightmare that had gripped them all. Ashok and Raju were jailed for their crimes. Avyaan's bravery was celebrated. It was nothing short of a miracle that Avyaan returned home safe. Against all odds, in a situation where fear and danger loomed large, the little boy's escape and survival felt like a blessing. But things were different now. He carried the scars of his ordeal, but he also carried the strength of a survivor. If this spine-chilling story captivated you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life mysteries and shocking cases. Help us bring even more thrilling mysteries to life. Click the link in the description to keep the stories coming.